Once upon a time, there was a story told, a memory of our people, so often of old, with a start so promising we often recall, but sadly the ending, no guarantee of all. Thinking of happily ever after, a myth or just a dream, that life will bring us joy and love, or so it would seem, but no matter the ending, our memories will stay. So cherish the stories, and so let us pray. Memory is a broken mirror, shattered fragments of past life, reflecting the moments that give each of us strife. Bright gleams of light fading away soon, blurring the lines of reality and dreams that we swoon. The harder we try to focus and to recall, the more the memories slip away and begin to fall. Pieces of life that make us who we are, beautiful shards of memories, dreams and far. Last night I had a dream of an unknown wizard, quite strange. He spoke in a language I'd never heard before, a single word that changed. He said that I had been chosen, and in the same breath cursed. He said, "Lula, you must retrieve the genie of your people. That is your task first." Because of my resilience and sight, I'd been blessed. The wizard said, "Go now." A wizard who wants the genie for own is making his way up the mountain alone, for if he obtains it, our fate is sealed. We'll never again choose our own path to yield. So we must beat him and learn the genie's use, lest we be further cursed and no longer choose. I felt a call to go. I had to answer it. So I set off. I could not linger a bit. Though the path may be long and the journey hard, I had no fear, for I knew I'd go far. Though I may walk alone, I knew I was not, for my guide unseen was never forgot. I knew I had a mission, a task I must do, and I knew it was my own, only I could pull through. The sun rose slowly, and the sky did light. I had to embark on a journey of might. To the mountain of fire I had to go, to complete this task that only so. The genie once gave us choice and free will, but now no path is ours to fill. The shamans say that I'm a weaver and a walker, only I have that right to stalk her. We have hunters and fishers, collectors and keepers. In this village we are all equal seekers, but I have been blessed with a special fate. The shamans have granted me a different path to take. Weavers of words, of stories untold, the keepers of tales that must be retold. Poets and singers, their songs will resound, the warp and woof of our history found. Walkers of paths, the wanderers and dreamers, asking of questions, no fear of the unknown, searching for answers and seeking the light, to brighten the corners of our minds so bright. No one has ever come back to the village. No one has ever looked back again. The weavers and walkers have gone far away. The stories and answers they'll never betray. I remember my mother. I recall her sweet face. Though she had to leave me without even a trace, she was determined to find a way to break the spell. The genie's return was the only thing that could help. She was certain she was a weaver, not a walker that day, but the shamans had spoken and she had no say. So she left me in sorrow, her dreams unfulfilled. And I have dreamt of her ever since, and the village she left still. The day she left was cold and wet. The tall grasses had not been met. In a black dress and hair of night, she waded out into the light. She gazed above into the sky. The wind made her look like a patch of summer high. Her arms were clutched to her chest. I felt her sorrow and ran with zest. As I watched her go, I thought of tears and the words that we would never share, of a life that could have been, but was never meant to be there. The rain kept falling all around, but I was standing still in time, for I knew in my heart the longest goodbye was mine. I close my eyes and see a sorrowful sight, her shattered soul in the candlelight. My father's heart deeply wounded and sore, his daughter's tears he can't ignore. I feel the urge to capture this scene through a painting of colour and sheen, but all I can do is run in the rain, feeling the drops like glass on my skin. I run to the shoreline and find my reprieve, where the sand, water and sky all weave a tapestry of solace and peace, where I can finally find my release. For 10 long winters I've delved in my mind. Is life just a long goodbye? A bright spark of imperfection in a sea of nothing sublime? For this reason the shamans called her a walker, not a weaver of fate, for she had no answers, only questions, a journey of faith to take. A journey to find the genie, to fill her heart's cracked vessel, a path of mystery and wonder, an answer she must unravel. The genie I'm seeking seems so far away, a secret so deep I might never find the way. What power could it hold? What difference could it make? Could it harbour the freedom it seems I must take? I worry I'm wrong, I worry I'm lost, but I'll keep on searching no matter the cost. The answer's so close yet so far away. I'm searching for the genie, here I will stay. Rafiso and I were two of a kind. Our friendship was strong and our blissful love blind. We'd meet in the fields where the sky was so blue and run until dusk with no shoes on view. We'd return home for supper with feet quite a mess, and we knew that our friendship would stand the test. As we grew, our affections grew ever more strong. Our love for each other would last oh so long. We'd found our true halves, our one and only soul, the kind of love that would never grow old. As I sat there with Rafiso by my side, the sun slowly set and the summertime tide. I felt a sadness and a longing in his eyes that made my heart ache and my spirit cry. He held my hand and we watched the light. His face was solemn, his words so slight. He looked at me and kissed me on my head and said, "I have to go," my heart filled with dread. My heart was overwhelmed with sorrow. As he said goodbye and made his way, I asked if he knew he'd be alone tomorrow. He said it was the only life he could not delay. Our friendship has meant so much to me, but he knew he must go and make his own way. The fear of emptiness was greater than his fear of being alone, so he said goodbye, and I had nothing more to say. The soft caress of your words and deeds, naught can compare to your silence and lack of being. The jovial tones that filled the air as we lay upon the mossy ground, a flower placed in my hair. You admired your handiwork so fair, your platitudes so sweet, yet knowing that my love you'd never meet. Forever, you said, your breath upon my cheek, lying there in a bed of blooms so meek. "'Twas a time of ancient lore, when we huddled by the fire, in animal skins like one great choir, of a millennial conversation to each a true desire. We sipped leaf wine and made a light, till fire opals gave us sight, salamanders writhing in the blaze. As fire snakes lazy ribbons gaze, a dream within a dream, a sight so grand, more beautiful than death or night's own command. "'Twas something in our past so deep, though knowledge we had tried to keep, the secrets etched on ancient walls, spoken down the ages' halls. We'd grown complacent, blind and numb, the truth obscured, no longer to come. Or maybe nothing, just a dream, of minds that thought they were supreme. The drawings on the cave walls were no more than a child's doodles, nothing to explore." I dreamed I was entombed, and Mother said with a sigh, "The vultures can't pick you, my sweetest of pies. My love for you is so deep, I won't leave you in this heap. I'm here to clean the spaces of gold rings and bare knuckles. Fear not the worms, for in death we remain vermivorous. Fear not your languid spine, I'm here to make us both entwine. We'll be scarabs entwined in this tomb, side by side, till the end of time." The fisher lives a quiet life, away from village strife. On the shore of the sea he does dwell, in a simple hut he built himself. His skin is brown from the sun, his clothes are nearly done. His hair and beard are long and unkempt, as if never cut or combed once in his life. He spends his days fishing away, casting his line in the bay. He's a man of solitude and peace, living in nature's embrace. The fisher never took a wife and had no kids. No one knew from whence he'd come. The villagers thought him quite eccentric, for he'd never eat the fish he'd caught, but trade them for the simple goods of life, no matter the weather, day or night. I once saw him pick a grasshopper from a reed. He held it gently in his hand like a precious seed, dabbed it with a bit of honey wild he'd gathered, and ate it whole, not a single thing he'd squandered. The fisher had a plan that he would not depart, to catch each fish individually by its own art. My father said to him, "Take a basket of this sort, to travel with the fish and keep them in a single retort." But the fisher stayed his course and said with a smile, "I must carry my catch altogether, mile by mile." My father then offered a net, for his catch to be strong, but the fisher would not take it. He said nothing was wrong. The fisher had a purpose that he would not alter. He collected his fish, each one unique and a falter. I sat and watched the fisher quite still, his eyes on the skies without a thrill. He asked me why I had no shoes. I asked him why he had no too. He said he had no need to wear. I thought it odd, I must be fair, but something told me he was wise, for shoes or not, he'd seen the skies. A hermit half mad, so they say, who runs with wild abandon each day. Though his feet are sore and his soles are bare, he does not wish for shoes to wear. He likes to feel the earth beneath, to feel each moment in life to breathe. Though it's hard and rough, it's something dear, for that is why he chooses to go without shoes here. Though the world may say I'm mad for caring more than I have had, I say it's truer madness still to collect more than we need to fill the void of life's emptiness, for in the end it's us who are possessed. Riddle me this of what I speak, a tale of a king and a fish so meek. The king with his wealth had no peace of mind, the fish without it could still be kind. The moral of this I'm sure you can see, it's not the things that you possess that set you free. A king who hoarded all he saw was master of the things he'd store. He gathered riches, yet his need increasingly he'd want for more. His every whim was met, though his kingdom sadly fell. The more he gained, the more he'd jealously hoard. His wife and son neglected, he'd pile up his wealth in a chamber sealed away by a key. A son so young and filled with glee found the key to set him free from the chamber of his dad. The door he opened, delighted and glad. The king ran to the treasure room with a fearful crash, but sadly his son lay beneath the gold in a deadly mash. He dug with might and main, but his efforts were in vain, for his only son was now lost, and his love too late he did gain. He had collected things of wealth, but the only thing that mattered was gone, and the king in grief and sorrow wept for what he had done. The king once had riches, a fortune to behold. But now he's grown wise, and his treasures he sold. He gave away all that was his to the poor, and he set out alone to live without more. Was this mad fisher once a king? I found it hard to believe, but he said, "Lula, wisdom comes at a cost, and it's not easy to retrieve." He had a saying to share, "It's wisdom the owl does bring. The wings of knowledge only stretch at twilight's ring." Rain, rain came down today, a lesson to learn. That much I say, the time to change I can't deny, but only if I choose to try. Hope is seen in the darkest skies, a chance to change our destiny lies. A rumble of thunder, a sudden surprise, reminds me of hope and its sweet surprise. The fisher looked up at the sky with a smile. His wild eyes spoke wisdom, and I saw it too. He said, "Lula, seek the middle way between all and nothing, and you'll find it today. It's a secret place deep in your mind, where the genie you'll find if you search and you're kind. The greatest secret of all is that there's no big mystery. When you find the genie, you'll even know the gods' history." A madman spoke of a genie. It made no sense to me, that there was a secret of no secret at all, but I listened to his call. He said he'd been told by a wizard in a dream to search for a genie, or so it did seem. Was it a dream or was it real? I can no longer tell. Are we all in a dream? Is a godly being real? I'm starting to feel confused beyond belief. I can only hope the genie is true, and the madman's words will ring true. The summit beckons me to come and go. I ponder if my mother faced this way. Did she march against the wind and snow, forsaking all that held her back, she'd stay? No matter what I hear the wind, I'm sure your singing carries me away. You sing the rain, you sing the snow, and I can brave the elements today. Your beauty so fair, my heart so aware of a love that I feel so close and sincere. Your eyes like the snow, so pure and serene, my love for you grows, 'tis ever so keen. Your face like a rose, so delicate and pale, your charm so profound I can scarce exhale. Your lips like the mist, so soft and divine, my eyes forever yours, my soul so entwined. Your touch like a spark, so warm and alive, your presence so strong, desire I revive. Your voice like a harp, so sweet and melodic, my heart so enchanted and soul so romantic. The chill of winter comes so strong, it brings the pale promise of hope so long. Though summer's end may seem so wrong, it's a sign of new life to come along. Though the green of summer's quickly gone, we'll brave the cold and stay strong. Though spring will bring no promise of return, we'll remember the warmth in our hearts to learn. Though summer may have sworn no reprieve, we'll still sing, trusting in what we believe. We may come to regret that we bemoaned the florid heat of summer now flown. As the new grass lights the air with a gleam, we hear the promise of spring in the stream. Winter groans in the sheets of ice and snow, our mittened hands cupped against the cold. We sing of life, of hope that will grow, and meadowed birds join in our song of old. I remember as a child, when my feet were wild and free, the world around me was so fresh to see, I thought no one could ever hold me back, as I ran joyfully and leapt the grassy track. I collected foxtails and picked the bluebells too, weaving them together with a joyful tune. I made idols of innocence and joy, in my childhood days when life was a toy. But then I learned that choices set our bounds. We give them names and we revere them with sounds. We invent our limits and take them to heart, and that is how my life story did start. Spring is my beloved time of year, when foxglove, bluebells fill the meadow clear. Their beauty and grace bring a temperance so reverent, for I'm walking in a garden, seemingly innocent. Though we know this story of innocence will not last, still spring holds me and nothing can surpass. Her sanguine nights come alive with hopeful expectation, a dormant beauty with thunders of reticence and elation. As if unsure of her might, the languid roots of spring come to light, sallow in the vegetable black, slow, but strong enough to bring back the warmth of summer and crack the stone. The scent of warm rain her heart is shown. A verdant whisper of sprouts is heard, her tremulous love opens rivers and birds. In any event, the clouds she'll disperse, and by her light she'll never reverse. The winter we had waited, so anxious and tense, for spring's sweet fragrances to break the frost's offence. Her feast of lights and blooms a promise made to keep. She holds me in her beauty, for knowledge I must seek. She sings me sweetly to love, I must surrender here, in gentle propagation of the annual's cheer. Her strength unseen in sleep, when soil and sun conjoin, unites us in the glory of the season's grand design. Spring awakes! To me she brings a brilliant light and joy that sings. When rain descends, the world's alive, new life to us by nature's drive. When she dreams, she casts away the darkness and the rot of day. When she sings, her voice divine colours my world so sweet and fine. When she rises, in me she wakes, the sky anew, my soul she makes. Dreams of glass and colours bright fill my heart with a wondrous sight. The potter's shop is a prism of light, sparkling gems of colour in sight. A vessel of each hue and hue, a liquid inside to view, mysteries of colour to explore, the potter's shop an ocular chore. Sapphire phylacteries and emerald filters, ruby crucibles and cobalt crucifers, all connected with glass tubes in a maze that was a sight to amaze. I pestered him with questions so bold. What is this? What is that? Tell me what's in this one, I've been told. His words were cryptic, his focus intense. With thick glass lenses, his eyes did not flinch. He spoke with a vocabulary so grand, words I'd never heard and couldn't understand. Philosophia, a word I recall. He said it meant love of knowledge for all. A thick square bottle of sky blue he picked up. Peering through it, his thoughts began to set up. Dreams are gods of memory, he did say. Whispers of our world along the way. In a jar stood a liquid dark as night, darker than stars without any light. A mystery before me, I sought to understand. What was this darkness I could not comprehend? He spoke with such awe, his words ringing clear, that this black void seemed to be quite queer. He picked up a feather and dipped it within. As he told me what I saw was a chance to begin. Infinite possibilities, though I could not perceive. The word he wrote on the vellum was Genie, believe. I awoke in the morning light. The sun was shining brightly. I pondered the genie and his word of the night. The stone was not a stone, he said, and with clarity I could see that it was something more than what it seemed to be. So I went my way, and with haste I did flee, away from the genie, to ponder and think, what could it be? Dreams and thoughts filled my head, and I felt a sudden glee. The stone was not a stone, I knew, for it was knowledge I could now see. I remember that morning in a dewy blue field. My parents were frantic, for my safety they'd plead. I rushed off to see the potter, for answers I'd seek. But all I found was a candle burned down to its peak. The potter was writing, he didn't even look up. A chalice of clay lay broken and tattered in a cup. He said, "Go home, child, there's no more to see. You have all the answers that you'll ever need." My father weaves with words of old, for tales of our kin to unfold. in the warp and woof of every blanket and every basket and winter cap, he led me to the standing stones, where the sea pods scraped along the stone, as I watched my father braid and weave his stories of our kin I did receive. Silent hugs and a knowing look, my father shared his stories in a book. "Do you know why you are special, Lula?" said he with a task to explore. "Because I am the youngest," I guessed, though he laughed at my thoughts some more. He said, "There's something else that makes me rare," and he started to weave with some grass. "Some are hunters, and some are foragers. Some are builders, and some are collectors. Just like my mother, a walker, born with a fierce curiosity to explore." Beyond the next horizon, his eyes shone on this gift I was blessed evermore. He paused and looked at me, his eyes so full of pride, and spoke these words of wisdom that I still keep inside. "You are unique, and something more, a weaver and a walker. Your destiny to make and create, a maker of your own maker." He then gave me a grass bracelet and a knowing look, as a reminder of the hidden depths that lay beneath the nook. Almost nothing is as it appears. So much more lies beneath, history and secrets, each one a part of the whole beneath. He said this so calmly, with a twinkle in his eye, for I knew that no matter what, his words would never lie. The path I choose to take will shape the story of us all. To make sure it's a good one, I'd best take heed the call. I'll make my own decisions, my path I shall make clear, and when I meet the genie, I'll have no cause to fear. What is this life but an introduction so long? The decisions I make will be where I belong. My father spoke of a genie long ago, that was said to bring sweet fortune and woe. My mother, she heard of the story too, and soon she was searching for it, it's true. She longed to be a weaver, not a walker, but could find no way to become the talker. Feeling sad, she left one day, to find the genie on her way. Did she find what she was looking for? Did the genie bring her a new life to explore? We'll never know until she returns, but I'm sure she found the genie's magical yearns. The clockmaster had a dream to make machines that never tire, that could move and lift and clear and never got mired. He worked hard and made machines of steam, but the people didn't understand. They feared his strange dream. So he moved away to the city and made his machines there. The people still talked of him, though they were unaware that the clockmaster had made great things that changed the land. And his machines still hum today, an ever-present hand. He caught me playing by the wheel and sat me down on a metal stub. He said, "I know you, Lula," in a gentle voice that was neither harsh nor gruff. He said, "You have the weaver's child. Your inquisitive mind is wild. We are not so very different, you and I." His words were warm, kind, and mild. The people may say he's insane. They fear his contraptions, though they can't explain. He furrows his brow, his gaze to the town, where people go about their day up and down. In a hushed voice he says, with a smirk, what they really dread is the truth to uncover. The truth of who they really are. That knowledge deep down they would never dare. The machine nearby stops, curiosity in its eyes, as it looks upon them, as if to realize. Lula, you must know that life's not a show, that some may think is full of magic and woe. The truth is much simpler, with no room for quibble, for it's just the time and the right kind of fiddle that can bring about life. That's not some great riddle, it's natural and inevitable, not a trick of the middle. So don't be afraid of the machines and their noise. For life is not just a thing meant for boys, it's a force of nature, and nothing to fear, for with this knowledge we can move forward and persevere. What they really fear in the face of their reflection is the thought that they too are a machine's conception. Though they think they are free, they are no more than a rat, unable to break out of their life's maze-like trap. He sighed, and then said as he walked away, "Lula, now go, machines need work today." He looked back and said with a voice so wise, "Stay curious, Lula, and open your eyes. Explore and find the genie and never give in. Question it all, the power is within." question it all. I hear the voice in my head. My dreams of gods, the shaman said. Will their choices be the right ones made? Will the machines ever dream and take the time to learn, to choose, to be the kind of beings we all can see? It all sounds so absurd, I know, but still I must this thought bestow, that we must question, never cease, in the search for life's peace. Perhaps the clockmaster was mad, 'tis true. The stories of the shaman seemed so true. Should one dare to question what's been taught? Could it be that one'd go madly fraught? If I doubt the tales of the wise shamans, they may think me mad and wicked too. But there's one thing I know in my heart, that I'm not the one who's off the mark. So perhaps it's best if I just let be. The shamans are wise and can't be wrong. Let's trust their stories and leave it at that, and not question them, lest we become mad. I dreamt of a carnival so bright it came to our village one night. The storm clouds loomed and winds did blow, tents and streamers to and fro. The hawker in his top hat cried, "Come one, come all and decide. Adventures or horrors you shall find. A game for $70, yours to bind." The people, with eyes so wide and blank, filled in slowly with no rank, they came to the tent of mystery, to test their wits and guile, you see. Rushing through the forest, a stag in sight, my heart racing fast with a great delight, for memories of days of wandering free had come back to me in a wild reverie. The scent of the green so fresh in the air, the singing of birds, I could not help but stare, when, round the corner, a crashing sound, a stag was there, fleet-footed I found. A stag so stricken, fear and pain, an arrow piercing through his frame. He stumbled to the ground at my feet, his breathing laboured, no reprieve. The Fletcher's shot was not so true. How far had he before he fell, his chest now heaving, fighting death? How long before his last breath? I stroked his fur and whispered lies, that all would soon be fine. His eyes were pleading to the skies, but he could not survive this time. An exhalation, and he was still. The world was cloaked in grief. Why did I have to bear the will and witness his relief? I have held the dying in my arms, so frail and pale, their eyes so dim, no more their tale. My faith in fate, it had been shattered. No gods, no heaven, no afterlife mattered. The shamans had lied to make us content, no divine power to make us repent. My broken heart, it could not mend. The pain of life, it would never end. Such falsehoods that deceive and hurt make us live life in low alert, making us think the present is not worth a dime, as if we're waiting for a future time. We pass the days in idle reverie, hoping for more, but life passes quickly. The moments we have all fleet away, and we've nothing left to show for our day. I've now realised faith is a cruel lie that tricks us into believing that nothing can die. But life is fleeting and moments will pass, and nothing will stay in our grasp. The world may be broken, but still they persist. Their minds are closed and empty, not knowing what they miss. No truth can touch them, though it's right before their eyes. They wander through life, believing their own lies. For they fear death, knowing of its certain end. The truth they deny, a journey they pretend. Without knowledge, they wander through life in a daze. Loving themselves, they wander in a maze. remember the sight of the sun, so bright and bold. As I stepped out of the dark and into the cold, the sky was so vast with no bounds in sight, a world of pure bliss with clear blue so bright. We trod on the land with pelts to keep warm, our senses alive, so much to explore. The smoke rose around us in plumes so high, like inky rivers flowing to the sky. I recall when cities were built and blades drawn from the rocks of a cavern so clear and so strong, the clang of the smithy and heat of his fire, burning the iron until it was red hot with desire. The eyes of those around, black and so deep, were filled with knowledge they'd gathered in heaps, from the rain of the spring that shaped their domain, and filled their lands with a mud that was so plain. I recall when we'd adorn the night with sacred fire, auroras of embers to spark and inspire. When the moon's light was our guide and its sign, we'd make sure to honour its power divine. With the dawn of each day we'd seek out the stars, to follow their paths and learn from their bards. We'd use our knowledge to craft mandalas, to connect the lunar cycles and annals. I recall the prayers of loyal steeds, on marble cut with blood-filled creeds, the scent of stallions hot and sweaty, with madness wild and manes so netty. We crushed the grass and did not care, our fear seen in angel bones we'd tear. The wind was strict and had its way, it brought us rules, no time to play. Here hunger matters, when laws of old are done, from rocks forbidden new dreams begun. Springs in the desert appear, and behold, a cult's eyes unbound with a story to be told. Monks of all kinds they gather in place, tears streaming down as they sing and they pray, a mantra of life and a living belief. Here thirst matters, just like hunger and grief. The city's once bright streets were now a cesspit of disease, all its golden walls now cracked and split with ease. The roads were made of tar, no bread to eat, mustard weeds trampled down by the elite's fleet. Armoured locusts, beetles and mantids that prey, assaults of terror, bronze and dismay, the military parading in cloven hooves, an army of pestilence no one can prove. This weary dirt, we came to seek relief from disobedience. With hot anvil's heat, we forged a golden light, flames burning bright, to speak the word of silence, vast and deep. The mouth of forever opened wide its maw, across hot dunes, an ever-changing floor, a history we found, forgotten in halls, woven with contempt, and plucked apart no more. A stone is history, from the cool shade of palms, from old men's whispers, stories of outlanders. We have our roots of mud and blood, memories of blue marches, swaying grasses, a floral abundance like a vivid mass. These stories, a bludgeoning device, let us remember what we did not live, so that our history may be preserved, and new generations can thrive. The tales of seraphs with wings so divine, their kingdom beyond the muddied sky, cream-coloured in light and sweet honeycomb wine, floating in parades in splendour so high. Of trees and grand oaks they whisper in awe, covering the forests with a verdant shawl, but still they yield to the thunder's roar, hoping in the sun's golden rays they'll scrawl. What I have seen, I can't forget. A vision of a people met, a sky of broken shards, an end so hard to bear. They held on to hope until no one was left. The end was a slow burn of a life so bereft. A vision of the future, a fever dream, fragments of memory, yet not of me. The final moments of a people doomed, a long drawn-out whimper of life so consumed. I saw fields of death, a merciless sight, flags of fire burning bright, millions of souls all gathered round, kneeling, praying without a sound. Hope that blinded made them blind to the truth they couldn't find. A young mother looking up, trying to shield her infant from the cup. Her tears the only water I saw. Hope had failed her, that I saw. The snow falls on a stilled world. The beauty it does not unfurl. The light of life a distant spark, the gloom of death a heavy mark. The life that once was here is now a frozen, silent sphere. No more the birds will sing and soar, the world is still forevermore. The snow that falls a silent tear, for all that's lost, a sad career. A hush has fallen, a great repose, a frozen tomb no one knows. There is no greater love than to be remembered, a gift that can bring us near eternity. For those who fear the end of life's bright ember, imagination helps us cross that boundary. We can't comprehend an absence of imagination, a world of no thought, sound or sensation. So we seek to ignore the great unknown and deny death's finality with its own throne. A moment of such beauty and grace, a flower so small in its place, a bloom of 4 petals so fair, amidst the frozen garden so bare. The sun shone warm, the birds did sing, a reminder of life's precious thing. A crack in stone, a sign of woe, yet the flower bravely did grow, a ray of hope on a winter's day, a sign of life that must not fade away. Kneeling by a snow-white flower, I paused in awe, astounded by its power. In a world of frozen nothingness, it seemed so delicate, so helpless. But something deep within its core must have enabled it to endure the harshness of the elements, and against all odds it was sent. It's not a trick of some mysterious fate, but a fortunate incident of nature's state. Like life itself, it's not quite magical, but wonderful nonetheless that it's here at all. Riddle me this, I'm oft confused, the shaman's teaching seems abstruse. I've seen a birth and death both real, which isn't part of the god's dream deal. The world around us we can see is natural, not an entity, but still I ponder o'er this thought. The flower I saw made me distraught. My thoughts I dare not share. They say I'm wrong, for to challenge their shamans is not strong. They'd think I had lost sight of the divine, and that reverence towards life I do not find. But I do seek the beauty of a flower so small, that amidst a garden freezes and yet stands tall, a sign of life that I can clearly see. It's a profound reverence I wholeheartedly feel. Life is a marvel, a feat of chance, so rare, so precious, given to us by circumstance. It didn't have to be, yet here it stands, a testament to time and its mysterious hands. It's not some grand design, no fate divine, but a quirk of nature, its beauty so fine. For life is a champion, a force to be reckoned, a feat of the cosmos, an enigma beckon. Tucked between two realms of emptiness so grand, a brief shining moment here to take a stand. Life, so rare, so beautiful it sings, in mere joy, my heart forever clings. To never squander a moment, However fleeting, this one chance to life I am now meeting. We live and laugh, learn and grow old. Love, death, between them we can be bold. Let us make it beautiful. This chance we are granted. We'll seize this life, and with it be enchanted. Though storms may assail and darkness consume, I do not despair. My fate is determined, and I will go where I'm steered. Though I may not know what I'll find at the end of my road, I know that I've lived, and that is my gift bestowed. Through pain, sorrow and joy I have lived life to the hilt. I have loved and I've laughed. I have given and been split. Though the end may be near, I shall not rue the day, for I've had this one chance to live life my own way. The genie stands so still, yet alive and organic. The wizard too, his voice I hear again, speaking from unmoving lips. I understand my journey has brought me to the mountain of fire, where the genie stands, mysterious and dire. I am Lula, here I stand, before the genie's eye, ready for the challenge, whatever it may be why. In facing the shadows of your soul, you have found strength, found hope and grown. The answers you sought, they're in you whole. And you've gathered all the shards, now you're not alone. The wizard who sought to bring you down is still wandering on a longer road. He thought it was easy, but he's been found, and now you can touch the genie. Your program has been foretold. I asked him of the genie, and he explained with care. The computational construct, a processor, was there. He'd introduce a packet of data with Lula as its name. My first moment was before I chose the path I'd claim. He told me that the genie could help with information flow. It'd organize the data and run the program we know. It'll be my guide and helper with answers I require. It'll make my life much easier, with no need to aspire. Lula heard the words of the sage. that she had the power that could engage to create a world of her own will that would manifest with a touch of a seal. Her mother and father, and Rafiso too, would be in the world that she'd make anew. She'd lay her hand on the genie and decide what would be real, and the program would abide. Back to your home, your village so true, your mother and father are waiting for you. A program is set to run endlessly. The joy of reuniting will bring you glee. Once a program, but now so free, to laugh, to learn, and love to be. Run anywhere, no need to pause, to live a life, no need to cause. The other wizard will be gone, verify the bug and move on. Thankful for the journey here, no more thoughts of fear, my dear. My hand was trembling as I touched the genie's side. Its warmth was like a dream, and I felt alive. The fantasy I'd built was suddenly real. Forgetting that it once was code, I did not feel. I'd be with my parents soon, I knew inside. A freedom and joy to be shared side by side. A tale of magic I'd soon be able to tell, for I had released a genie from a magical spell. Not all my lines may end with a rhyme, but let it begin once upon a time.